I've watched recordings of an American male sexually attacking a child my age, either by abuse, rape, or coercion, to so many people's pleasure. I've seen things with AIDS that no one should ever witness. The internet has recently been engulfed in a frenzy as users uncover disturbing facts regarding the reality of what's going on in the Hollywood industry. It has been claimed by sources that Hollywood is no longer a secure place to work due to secret parties and several concealed dark actions. One of those sources is none other than Ashton Kutcher, an A-list actor who has revealed various activities carried out in the business. I promise you that's a breeding ground for trafficking, but the reason I looked at foster care is that it's a microcosm because it serves as a grave warning to popular figures in Hollywood who have managed to evade justice so far. There's a belief that these powerful moguls have turned Hollywood into a place of open secrets where dark activities are hidden yet widely known despite Hollywood's reputation. Addressing these issues is often met with silence and fear, as exemplified by Harvey Weinstein's case, where his actions remained undisclosed for years. When the truth finally emerged, people began to recognize the role of power dynamics and institutional betrayals in perpetuating such behavior. According to the public, this institution is more specifically related to Hollywood because they think that it is the most notorious place for all these actions to take place. As one of them wrote, if only sexual harassment were the only problem in Hollywood, but sadly, so much goes on that most of us normal people couldn't even imagine in our worst nightmares. Another participant asserted that sexual harassment has long been a source of pleasure while being repugnant, bewildering for adults, and devastatingly confusing for youngsters, especially the silent victims of sexual abuse. These folks are now afraid of them since they have heard so many stories about Hollywood's terrible secrets. The Weinstein Company is one such example where women spoke for years, but no one listened because Harvey was the target of pop culture jokes but continued to operate his production firms while continuing to make enormously profitable films and win Oscar after Oscar. Although there is no proof, Harvey was the god of this industry. Nevertheless, he deceived several younger artists and was effective in keeping their identities secret. Harvey was able to continue being a predator for years because of his strength. All available information implicates Harvey in a number of really serious crimes. Many women came forward and claimed that Harvey had reportedly forced them against their will in the 1990s, when the New York Times initially made it known that he had engaged in a number of sensual acts. I am aware that he has already crushed many others, which is why my story, which is 20 years old, and some of them are older, has never been made public. This is intriguing because, at the time, all of these musicians were juniors and fresh in the business. For a long time, Wadil got away with abusing people to get what he wanted, and in 2017, he continued to make an effort to degrade the musicians. According to David's lawsuit, Harvey was accused by David of serious counts of human exploitation. Several Weinstein victims claimed that he broke the law by essentially offering to trade movie roles for his sexual desires. One of them wrote, "Don't just let that creep walk free. Put that sex offender in prison, and I hope execution comes to him too." While another added, "It's really scary the amount of power that man has." Weinstein claimed that he was considering her for a role in the television program Marco Polo and used that to entice her to come to his room at the Montague. Sadder still is the fact that the actresses who rejected him just became blacklisted for acting morally. The judge stated that the opportunity for an aspiring actress to meet with a renowned film producer carries value in and of itself, and that the additional opportunity for the actress to sit down with that producer in a private meeting to review her film reel and discuss a promised film role carries value that is career-making. The court also allowed the claim to proceed, finding that the plaintiffs have plausibly alleged that Weinstein was engaged in exploiting activities for his financial gains. Contrasted with Harvey tried his best to settle the lawsuit, but the victims ultimately decided against it. This allowed Harvey to escape easily and keep the matter an open secret. Some accounts claim that a number of well-known individuals were already aware of Harvey's behavior. When he was a part of this craze, Seal, for instance, posted on Instagram something like this: "Oh, I forgot that's right. Although you were aware of the rumors, you were unaware that he was actually abusing a number of young, stereotyped actresses who, in turn, were unaware of what they were getting into. I apologize for being condescending. Unfortunately, there are many people in the profession who commit such heinous crimes. Harvey is only one example. M. Gibson, as you may already be aware, Jim Caviezel and Mel Gibson collaborated on the film The Passion of the Christ. Since then, the two of them have collaborated behind closed doors to combat many other taboo issues around the world, in addition to that particular one. In Acts, Ashton Kutcher and Jim Caviezel take the lead in battling such individuals. Undoubtedly, this subject still has to be addressed by humanity and is distressing and unresolved. I think things are moving in the right direction, and I think that the dark places have been illuminated, a painful but essential step toward transformation. So there you have it. Together with Jim Caviezel, Mel produced the film Sound of Freedom. According to Jim, this film is for our children, our country, and our sovereignty at this very moment. It was said that Mel made this video as part of his effort to expose all the human abuses taking place in the industry. Mel deserves all the credit for taking the initiative to further the critical work that we do, one film producer said after his film was released. I am personally grateful for his support as we worked on this documentary, but rumors that this 4-part series is actually being produced by Mr. Gibson are untrue. In September 2020, there was an international uproar over a documentary that Mel Gibson had directed. Critics questioned whether Cuddles Drew was aware of the issue of child exploitation or whether he was taking advantage of the 11-year-old performers. Some believe that child exploitation in Hollywood is the issue that needs to be addressed most urgently. Many GOP legislators have demanded that the Justice Department look into actor Isaac Cappy, who played a character in the superhero movie, as a result of a recent Netflix film's sexualized depictions of young girls. A lot of show business parents will knowingly allow their children to be abused because they'll say, "Oh, we'll get your kids roles and money," and then they take the money and just sell their kids to people who sell their kids for money. According to a series of explosive accusations made by Thor Online in August of 2018. If I'm lying, sue me, because these are pretty damning allegations that I'm making, then if I'm lying, it would be very upsetting. Consider the shocking case of Jimmy Savile, a prominent BBC figure in Britain. After his death in 2011, criminal investigations revealed that he had allegedly victimized up to 1,000 children, some as young as 2. There was a girl of about 14 with long brown hair sitting on his knee, and he had his left arm up around his upper skirt. In the past, many abusers were able to escape the consequences of their behavior, but thanks to technological advancements and the support of public figures like Ashton Kutcher, these wrongdoers now have the means to ensure they face harsh consequences for their actions. That's all for today, everyone. Until next time, take care.